I'm Joe Ghattas, and this is the Apocalypse World Ender. This is the world's first new body Defender, and of course, we chopped it and made it into a 6x6. This is a really special build for a couple of reasons. Obviously, no one's ever done one before. Two, this thing's got an independent suspension in the very front, independent suspension in the very back. It's all on airbags, and we started out with the supercharged V8. You gotta hear this thing. It's an absolute monster, and it rivals the Mercedes G-Wagon 6x6. Kind of what we had in mind when we built this, right? We put together a ton of six-wheelers, and we wanted an ultra high-end luxury 6x6 that rivals the Mercedes 6x6, right? That was like an iconic vehicle. But this thing starts life out as a very luxurious high-end truck to begin with, right? And you've got room for 3 rows of seats. So that was kind of the premise here. Let's not shorten the cabin at all. Let's keep room for 3 rows of seats, and let's make it a 6x6. Let's make it a pickup truck. And I think we accomplished all that, right? Let me take you on the front. We widen the truck by 2 feet. The entire truck from edge to edge is 2 feet. You got a foot on either side. The car used to end here. Now she ends way over here. This is all custom fabricated. This thing is chock full of sensors and electronics, right? So all the parking sensors have to be relocated, recalibrated to work. Even making this push bar on here, we call it a cow killer. We had to specially design this thing so that it wouldn't interfere with any of the sensors. So you still got the Distronic and the Partronic, you got the front rear cameras, and all the standard features of this vehicle would work. You don't want to say goodbye to any features, you want to make the car better. We finished it in the satin gray with some gloss black. And then the signature Defender thing is this, gridiron metal up here. So we shot that white, we did the eyelids white. We gave it a skid plate up front, and then the suspension. Because this thing's an independent suspension, nobody makes a lift kit for this thing. So, as you've seen us do a couple of times before, we fabricated our own complete suspension system, right? This is our own spindles, these are our own control arms, these are our own subframe, and we did it so that all the suspension works like it did from factory, but it's now a lot taller. Of course, we skid plated the whole thing from front to back. In the back here, we've got our custom handmade tandem axle, which has the pass-through drive in it. So the back 4 are always engaged. As a matter of fact, this thing's an all-wheel drive, so all 6 are always engaged. Now you can turn off the front axle if you like, improve fuel economy, but this is a full-time 6-wheel drive car if you want it to be. The drive shaft comes into the middle axle, comes out, feeds the back axle. The back axle is still the independent suspension. We took the original middle clip, put it in the rear. We created our own frame for this vehicle. We had a complete subframe fabricated for this car so that it's rigid. We didn't want this thing on a unibody. We wanted a steel box 1/4-inch tubular frame, and we accomplished that. And we were able to keep the airmatic system together. So we had added an additional 2 airbags in the middle. They're tied in on the same system. We had to put a bigger pump. We had to put additional sensors and program those into the computer so that it's picking up the ride height from all 6 wheels and tires. And it'll adjust and do its thing. You can actually drop this car down 8 inches if you like with the press of a button. It'll go right back up again. This is as high as she gets right here. And it's an awesome amount of clearance. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's got a ton of horsepower. We left it with 355 gears. We're running 38-inch tires. The whole thing is wrapped. Obviously, we have a bed now where there once was none. We decided to put a gigantic 7th tire there. You don't have to have it. You can take it out, bolts in. This is our own custom-made roll cage. We actually made the roll cage to fit our wide body. So the truck used to end here. Obviously, this is all additional. And so the roll cage mounts right into the top of that and into the frame and over there back into the frame. Fuel filler got relocated to the back. We put a slightly larger fuel tank in the vehicle. We've got a roof rack on top and put some custom lighting over the windshield in usual Apocalypse fashion. But I think this is a little slicker and more along the same lines as the Defender and what they originally did. If you remember, Defender had a 6-wheeler. It was called the Huntsman on the old body. And I was really surprised nobody went to do it. Of course, they're all waiting for us to do it, and so we did.